Welcome back to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting, including today. Unfortunately, the FCC is not going to be working to ban forcing people to pay for cable and television if you live in an HOA or apartment. We'll tell you what's happening there. A lot of us got excited last year when it looked like they may make it illegal for cable companies to strike deals with apartment and HOAs to force you to bundle TV and internet into your HOA or apartment rent. That's not going to be the case anymore. Also, Amazon's cutting back on original content. They're going to be focusing more on streaming as they reduce their spending for Amazon Prime Video. We'll tell you about that. As they also add 150 local PBS stations to Amazon Prime Video. These stories and a whole lot more coming up in a quick second. First though, if you want to learn more about any of these stories I'm about to talk about, I'll put a link to each one in the show notes and in the first pinned comment so you can read about it for yourself. Come up with your own opinions. I'd love to hear from you. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Doing one or both lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here, so YouTube recommends our videos to more people. It really does help us, and hopefully we can help you break free from the high cost of TV and still watch the shows you enjoy. All right, let's dive into it. I should say this week, the FCC has withdrawn a proposal to ban forcing people who live in HOAs and apartments to pay for cable television. You know, I've did a few stories on this over time about one of the main things keeping cable television alive is all the people living in apartments and HOAs and college dorms where the cost of internet and television is bundled into your rent or into your HOA fee. And with that, there was a proposal to make that illegal, to say that HOAs cannot strike deals with cable TV companies and then have it be forced on them to be able to pay for that content. Now, though, that has slowly shifted and changed with the new administration, and they announced that they are dropping their plans to push for that, and they are not going to be ending what's called bulk billing. And that's the idea where HOA negotiates a rate for the entire neighborhood with that. Of course, the cable companies came out real quick saying, this is great, look, we can still offer discounted internet to HOAs and apartment complexes and television. But what they don't say is what about all the people who live in those who don't want cable television? They don't have a way out. Unfortunately, for now, that seems to be the way it's going. It'll be up to the HOA and property managers to strike a different deal, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon. So I want to count on the current FCC to back that up and try to ban that practice. All right, next up, Amazon is cutting back on its spending for original content. This comes after they put a lot of big money in the Lord of the Rings TV show, for example, and other originals. I particularly like the Tom Clancy show. The ending of the first season was a little weak. I haven't actually finished the final one yet, but Amazon has reportedly announced, according to the information, that they are going to be cutting back on spending for original content, not eliminating it, just not spending as much, as they focus on spending more money towards sports rights. They want to get more rights to sporting events to put on Amazon Prime Video. They've struck several major sports deals recently. Most prominently, one of the first big ones was Thursday Night NFL Football. Now some wild card games and different stuff on Amazon there. Or Black Friday, I should say. Not wild card. Black Friday Prime Video there. Look for more and more sports content to come. You know, I've said this before. We saw sports drive subscribers. We just saw this with Netflix. Netflix had 2 Christmas Day games. Saw a significant jump in subscribers as people wanted to watch those 2 games. Of the top 100 most watched programs on television in 2024, the vast majority of them were NFL games with that. So it does not surprise me to see that Amazon leaning more into sports with that. We'll keep an eye on it. Exactly what does this mean? We don't know. Amazon has not publicly said this. They just informed their employees of this. Something that the information got their hands on with it. Speaking of Amazon, in our next story up, late last year, they announced a partnership with PBS to offer free streams of PBS local stations on Amazon Prime Video. Now, 150 PBS stations are now live on Amazon Prime Video, with PBS Kids also available there. I know it's been available through their app. Local Now has had it, but now Amazon Prime Video has had it, or is adding it, I should say, giving you one more option to access PBS without needing multiple apps on your TV, phone, or wherever it may be. I love this. PBS in the early days of cord cutting was very slow to become cord cutting friendly, and they still are, I think, can do better on it. But they're increasingly improving that and making their content more widely available. I love this. I hope they continue to make their content as widely available as possible for all the people out there. But 150 are now available, which is the vast majority of them. Check it out, Amazon Prime Video. In the free to watch tab, their live tab, you'll find it there based on your location and which station is closest to you. All right, next up, Verizon has slashed its autopay discount. It used to be $10 a month, but you recently may have noticed that they've started to inform customers that's been dropped down to just $5 a month with this, which is available for Fios, 5G, and LTE home internet plans starting at as low as $67. To receive this plan, if you're on Fios, you're losing it. You will have to switch. I want to make sure I make this clear. I don't think I said that right. If you're on Fios internet, they're fiber, and you want to keep the $10 discount, you're going to have to switch to one of their wireless plans through 5G home internet or others. Unfortunately, you do not have an option to keep that with Fios with that, as they continue to cut back on the amount of discounts. Now, they're not alone. Comcast has cut the autopay discount for their plans. You've seen T-Mobile and others do the same. Depending on what payment method you do it through, a lot of companies have cut their autopay discounts with credit cards because of the growing fees with credit cards on that. And now we're seeing this come to Verizon Fios. So again, if you have their home internet and you want the discount, you may have to consider switching over to 5G home internet. All right, next up, Lionsgate and Stars is one step closer to split. They announced last year they intend to spin off Stars and its studios, Lionsgate's, into two separate entities. Now, they join a growing trend that they actually kind of got ahead of a little bit. Comcast is doing this with their cable network, spinning them off from their studios. Warner Brothers Discovery is separating them still internally, but there is rumors that they may be also splitting it off into an independent company for the Warner Brothers Discovery cable networks. It seems like a way to kind of clear off the books and have the studios focus on being a studio and Stars as a cable network focus on being a cable network. I view this, I don't know how much with Lionsgate, but definitely with the Comcast, is looking at their cable networks as a little bit of dead weight. Because they're keeping the locals, they're keeping Bravo that they see as a potential profit maker still in the future. But a lot of the other networks, they're just pushing out the door and not wanting. Now, no exact date on when this will become final, but they did make some updated amendments. They are one step closer to spinning off Stars into an independent organization that will be publicly traded, as a growing number of owners of cable TV networks are trying to get them off their books with this. We'll keep an eye on it and let you know if any other companies do it next. All right, Nielsen released its gauge of streaming media, and once again, Disney is the most watched streaming groups on televisions out there. Now we're talking about televisions. With this, Disney accounted for a little over 11% of all viewing, just barely above YouTube on TVs, followed by Paramount, Netflix, NBC Universal, Fox, Warner Brothers Discovery, Amazon, The Roku Channel, Scripps, Hallmark, Weagle Broadcasting, A&E, and AMC networks with this. Very interesting to see the jumps here, okay? For example, Disney a little over 11%, Netflix a little over 8% of all viewing. The Roku Channel at 2% actually has more viewing than A&E networks and AMC networks. You want to know why cable networks are struggling? When the Roku Channel has more viewing with it, it's interesting. Now, Walt Disney includes, of course, all of its streaming services, ESPN+, Hulu, Disney+. Paramount includes both Paramount+, BET streaming services, and Pluto TV, which helps that a lot. Fox not only has its Fox partnerships streaming, but also Tubi. I'll be very interesting in this to see how much of that is Tubi. I bet a surprising amount of that content is actually Tubi with it. And it unfortunately does not say how much. It was a decline a little bit in this measurement, but we'll keep a close eye on it. Free streaming is helping drive a lot of viewership, helping grow. I mean, YouTube being the second most watched on smart TVs now, maybe not a surprise to most of us. But look for that to become more and more popular with streaming all this. It'll be interesting to see, though, Now that Tubi is going to have the Super Bowl, if Fox has the Super Bowl, will that push them up higher? Will they jump up to the number one with it? We'll watch it closely. Now these numbers were for December. We'll have to wait for the January numbers and even longer for the February numbers. And lastly, Spectrum is making more cuts to its customer service centers. 250 employees from its Akron, Ohio location. Let me make sure I give you the right state. Yes, Akron, Ohio, are being shifted to other locations. They're going to close the entire call center there, and customer service agents there who want to keep a job can relocate to other open positions at other call centers or other parts of the company. But that call center with 250 agents are going away, and other call centers are going to pick up the slack. This is not a new. Last year, about 1,000 Spectrum employees lost their jobs, or lost their positions, I should say, because they have a chance to switch positions within the company as they reduce the amount of humans actually doing this. Increasingly, they're pushing customers to their chat, which is heavily now using AI to answer common questions, give information. I know, for example, if you have an outage and you go there and they say, hey, you're currently in outage, you can't talk to a customer service agent. They just give you a message saying, we're aware that you're in an outage, we're working to fix it. You can contact a customer service agent after your outage is fixed. I'm sure this is because most of their messages were just people saying, our internet's not working. And Spectrum says, yeah, we know, we already posted and told you you're in an outage. But it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Spectrum is continuing to try to cut back on its customer service agents, which are, let's be honest, expensive, in order to try to save money using AI to cut back on common questions and concerns. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. Until next time, hopefully we're going to help you save some money.